Hello everyone and welcome back to another nature review here on Mars. Today we have SH Figuarts Gabimaru from their Hell's Paradise line. Now, at first glance, you would probably think to yourself, this is just a plain figure. There's nothing too much going on with this figure, and you would be exactly right. There is not a lot going on with this figure except for the character and who it is. Other than that, it's simply a basic design, but it works perfectly for SH Figuarts and Tamashii Nations. And I say that because my previous reviews for me from Tamashii Nations have left me in a worrisome state, but now with Gabimaru coming into the picture, I really do feel really excited again for SH Figuarts and things like that. And you just have to go back and watch my previous reviews if you want to know what exactly I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and jump straight into the figure here, starting off with the presentation. Again, a real basic design, not too much to mess up on with this, with the likeness of the character. And they did a great job. As always, Tamashii Nations just really kills it when it comes to their anime lines. They always capture the source material well, even if it's not the best decision as far as like articulation and just the overall engineering of the figure. They always capture that source material, no matter what the sacrifice may be. So yes, the figure has great articulation, of course. You can get him all kind of poses. For an example, he can tuck down all the way like this. No issue there. And might be able to pose up like that too. Let's see. You know, something like that. But basically, with this figure, it's a safe bet because you know you're going to get what you want from a Tamashii Nations figure. You know you're going to have highly articulated movement. You know you're going to have great representation of the character from the source material. Now, the only thing I would say is lacking with this figure is going to be the accessories. Granted, you do get your one katana that he comes with. And we're going to take a closer look at that now. Hold on here. Alright. Which is right here. It looks really good. This is all you're going to get, so I would argue that the release is a bit bare bone. However, this figure does come with a total of 5 faceplates and 5 pairs of hand, plus 1 unique hand for his ninjutsu. My only gripe with this figure and the missed opportunity with this figure is that they could have delivered us the Nimpo flame accessory that's from the anime. Yes, we have the flame effect pieces that Tamashii Nations does offer, and it's a great way to advertise that set with this figure. However, I think it would have been a much better accessory, a much better release, had we got that flame with that purple finish to it, that purple tint that's from the anime. That would have been a unique flame piece, only known to Hell's Paradise, and I feel like Tamashii Nations did cop out. Now let's go ahead and jump into the faceplates and pairs of hands with Gabimaru. Moving into the faceplates, again, there are a total of 5 separate faceplates. To kick things off, we have the default faceplate, which is just Gabimaru with his chill, relaxed faceplate. Now, one thing I'll say that is pretty cool with the faceplate and how the hair works is here you can see both eyes, but if you tilt the head down, you only see the one eye. I think that's a really cool detail with this figure. When you go to swap out the faceplates, what you want to do first is remove this hairpiece here. And when you do remove the hairpiece, it is going to remove the faceplate as well. So you don't have to worry about going back in to remove the faceplate. And then here you go. You can see kind of how it all looks there. Okay, alright, so let's go ahead and get our other faceplate here. We're going to switch over to this yelling faceplate here. And then there you go. Now when you go to put this faceplate on, aim for the forehead, not the eyes or anything like that. And then there you go. So that's his screaming faceplate. And then looking down, of course, you can see the one eye. Now, before we continue on with the faceplates, or actually, let's go ahead and move into this next faceplate. This next one is pretty cool. And I say that because it's a whole nother display option that you have. So let's go ahead and remove all of this here. Okay, so yes, the neck can come out. You can actually remove this collar piece here as well, just like so. So here's an additional neck piece that you get with Gabimaru. there, you can see it. So what you want to do is just push this down in here. You hear the clip, and then now you just need to pull this apart, and you can see, all right, what I mean. So here is the other faceplate with the mask. Again, aim for the forehead. All right, and then you just push it in like so. All right, and there you go, just like that. And then you come back over here, make sure you have your peg in there. And then just push down and boom. There you go. So you have a whole new option for displaying with Gabimaru. This is going to be a more serious look, you know, more serious valve coming from Gabimaru. So let's continue with the faceplates. Now, when you want to go and switch out all this stuff, here you go. I mentioned earlier about these little collars, and we'll get more into that in just a second. Basically, with this collar here, you can remove this hand, and this is one of the pairs of hands, by the way. Oh, let's go ahead and grab the right one. Here we go. You can probably see on my fingers there the little bruises that's left me from this figure. But basically, you're going to put your hand here for this as you're like tucking it down. So again, here's your neck peg, and then you have the head sculpt. Make sure you have the peg in there. Push down, and then there you go. So basically, this is for him holding this down as he's doing his Nimpo. Okay, that's what that's for. That's that option. You get a total of just 2. So this is going to be your second option. And then there you go. So let's go ahead and continue through the faceplates. So now we are on the Nimpo fire breathing faceplate. Let's continue down. Next up, we have our shocked faceplate, which I believe is really good. Probably one of my favorites from this release because it's so detailed and you can really feel the expression coming from this figure. Alright, and then lastly we get his yelling, kind of angry faceplate as well, and then that will do it for the faceplates. Now let's move into the pairs of hands. To kick off the pairs of hands, I'm first going to show you the unique hand that he comes with. He's only going to have one unique hand, the rest are pairs. Here it is, this is for his Nimpo. Next up we have his closed fist that comes by default. Now we have our third pairs of hand, which is basically going to be for holding down his scarf there, as you can see. I showed you earlier. Alright, we also have these pairs of hands, which I would argue, again, could be used for holding down the scarf or just to use some of his Nimpo as well. And then lastly, we have his katana wielding hands. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you what the katana is again. Here it is here. Looks very sharp. And then to put it on, you simply just need to slide it down the groove. And there you go, just like that. Okay, your little stands here for you. Alright, with that out of the way, let's now move into articulation. Now when it comes to the articulation of Gabimaru, you don't need to worry because you are going to be getting the absolute best from Tamashii Nations with this release. So, he can look down this much here. He can look up this much. He can lean side to side. He can hit the T-pose even more so. You got your butterfly joint. I feel like we haven't had a butterfly joint on a Tamashii Nations figure in a long time, so that's great to see. You do have your arm swivel as well. He is, of course, double jointed. The wrist does rotate. It does hinge, and it is very easy to swap out. Moving to the upper torso, he can tuck in this much. And then going back, he can tuck in this much as well. He can twist at the upper torso. You got some rocker movement there, as well as some twisting there as well. And then let's see, for the legs, obviously he can hit that 90 degree, no problem. Look at that, great stuff. Knees, double jointed knees. You do have your leg swivel as well. And then when it comes to the splits, he can hit the splits with no issue. You know, all the stuff we love, right? And then for the feet, he can tuck out this much. He can go up this much. You do have your toe pivot as well as your rocker movement as well. The articulation on this figure is absolute outstanding. Now, with that out of the way, let's now move in to the conclusion. Moving into the conclusion of this review, I think Gabimaru is a nice piece, and I say that because it represents what Tamashii Nations can achieve when there is a basic design, when there's a bland design. That's why you see figures like JJK, for an example, with the exception of Geto. Geto. That's crazy saying that out loud. Alright, with the exception of Geto, most of the figures from JJK, they have awesome articulation. It's because their design is so plain, basically, right? The same is going to be happening with Gabimaru. You know, plain design, simple design, but it works, and it helps Tamashii Nations in terms of like their articulation and the overall presentation, because they nail it all across the board. For the presentation, they nailed it. Articulation, they nailed it. The only thing I would say that they're lacking is the accessories, but at least they threw in the katana. Now, with that out of the way, would I recommend you this figure? The answer is yes, especially if you're a fan of Hell's Paradise. Tamashii Nations already has 2 more Hell's Paradise figures to come out, and I'm super impressed by this figure, and I can't wait to see the other 2. Now, I do random subscriber shoutouts, so thank you personally for coming out here, watching nature, watching my reviews. It really does mean a lot, and I acknowledge you. For all my other subscribers, make sure you stick around to the very end of the review, because you too may also get a subscriber shout out. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.